Okay, this week I also want you to think about 3D. Um, Now I know most people have never probably used a 3D application before, but uh, the one that's probably the easiest to use and to start with is called Google SketchUp. Again, Google SketchUp is it's a free program you can download from Google. Um, you can do that. It's a free, and you can share files. You can see you can download it for Windows XP, Vista 7, and Mac OS, but of course you need a 10.5. If you have a 10.4, I think there is an older version somewhere that you can find. You might just look for Google SketchUp Mac 10.4. But of course 10.5 has been around for maybe 3 or 4 years, so if you have a newer Mac within the past 3 years, you probably could use it. It's a great, easy application. I'm just going to make a couple short videos on how to use it. Um, it's free. It's used for all kinds of different things. If you look at any of the samples that you see online, I posted some samples that I use it for. It's a great, fun application. Mostly used for housing and construction and interior design and things like that. But you could also use it for a whole bunch of other applications, and I'm going to kind of go over it right now. Maybe one of them might be the like we've been doing with the making icons and things like that. So let's just say that you wanted to make an icon of a stop sign. Well, you can model the stop sign in 3D and then have it on an angle a little bit and make a picture out of it and use that. So, things like that are very easy to do. You can see mostly, again, architecture. You can see some samples here. And again, the beautiful thing about this is it's free. It's a free application. Gaming, they started using it for gaming. You can see you make things like this. So it's a great application to do things with. Pre-visualization, just sort of coming up with ideas as what that would mean. And then, I use it for interior and designing, things like that. It's used a lot for interior design. So I highly recommend downloading and trying the Google SketchUp. Let's look at how I Google SketchUp for a moment, and let's get started. If I can find my version here, I do have a Google SketchUp somewhere on my computer. If I can find it. Okay, I'm using actually Google SketchUp 8. It's the one I'm using. They all work pretty much the same. So, once I show you how to do some things in it, it's quite easy. The nice thing about using Google SketchUp is it's a simpler application compared to a lot of the other advanced applications. Basically, you have tools over here and tools above up here. And you can simply just start drawing and making rectangles and things like that. Just by drawing a circle, you can see that, and then you can extrude your circle so it has a thing. You can move this world around like this. Okay. If you don't want this person in there, you can select them with the selection tool. This is the selection tool, and delete it. No, I can't erase. How about erase? There we go. I right-clicked instead of erase. So you see how easy it was for me just to make a circle, and then I use this tool right here. It's kind of an extrude tool right here to push and pull. And so I don't know why they have the same tools here as they do here, but they have different tools for different things. Mostly what I use is just mostly this one right here with the orbit tool. You can see that it has kind of blue lines, and then the pan tool. Pan moves back and forth, side to side. Orbit rotates like this. One of the hard things to get used to in a 3D environment is actually in the Z plane, because we're used to working in things like Photoshop or the web page or something like that, and it's always X and Y. But in this case, you also have depth now, and you can see the Z-plane also. But you know, I don't expect you to start modeling and doing things like that. What I want you to do is just kind of play with pre-made models instead of having to build your own. You can actually just start with pre-made models. I don't remember this eraser tool. I don't have that one. Oh, I guess it erases things. My other version, my Mac version seems to be a little bit different than the PC version. So in this case, I don't. What you really should do with Google SketchUp is not necessarily try and make your own things, which you could, but there's a lot of pre-made ones out there. So in this case, if I go underneath File, Get Warehouse, Get Models, under File, Get Warehouse, Get Models, it'll take you to a web page here. It basically looks like a web page where you can actually find models. So if you're looking for a specific look or building or something like that, how about we type in, you can see there's a whole bunch of made ones, tank, and then hit search. You can see somebody's already made a bunch of tanks for you already. So if you wanted to use one of these tanks or any of these things that you see here, you can say download model, and it's going to ask you, do you want to load it directly into Google SketchUp, or do you want to save it on your computer? It depends on what you want to do. I tend to download it and then load it later, but you can just say load into Google SketchUp if you want and say yes. So it'll download the file, and you'll have it inside of your Google SketchUp. You might have to click on the screen to have it take place here. And you might need to move around your window so you can see it. And so we have a 3D model of a tank right in my program. So if I wanted to use this tank as, let's say, an icon for my, let's say an icon for my, like we were making the last couple weeks, we were making some icons and things like that. You can easily change the look of this by, there's different ways of viewing models inside of SketchUp, and we refer to that as rendering. Okay, and the first thing I want you to look at is the view under face style. And view under face style you can view by X-ray, which allows you to see inside. Face style wireframe shows you all the different models. Face style hidden lines. So you can see it as lines like this. And again, I'm going to use the orbit tool again here, this orbit tool with the blue lines. I use this all the time. And you can see you can move your object around. So if you wanted to have this as a icon for your web page or something, you can just simply export this out as a GIF or JPEG or something and bring it right into Photoshop and make yourself your own icon, which I'm probably going to do, and then I'll show you how to animate in a minute. But usually it's under view again, face style. You can view shaded, view face style, shade and textures. There's no real textures on here. Textures would be if you wanted to have objects with like real textures on them. What do you mean by real texture? Like what it would look like with grass, or in this case, if you wanted to have this armor a different color or something like that. Those texture things are changed under the materials window. When materials is looking under window materials, and in there you can put things like you want a tank with concrete. Oh, this is linked, so it's locked, so you can't change it. But there's a way to explode this so that you could alter it. So I guess it's not going to work there. But there is a way to change the textures and things. It's under materials, so just keep that in mind. If I wanted to export this out, again, you can move the windows around. If you use the wheel on your on your mouse, if you have a wheel, you can it'll zoom in and zoom out, as you see there. And then you can move things around. So find an angle that you want, and you say, "Oh, cool! This would make a great icon for my iPhone." Okay, so how do you get it out of Google SketchUp? Well, again, there's a term that is used in 3D animation to convert your object into either like an animation or a still image, and that's called rendering. To render this, I can go under File, Export, and you can say Export 3D Model or 2D Graphic. If I say 2D Graphic, it's going to make a JPEG, like I said. So if I say File, Export, and then let's give it a name. Let's call it Tank. How about that? Tank. And then wherever you want to put it. You could save in different formats also. I just was using JPEG, but you could use PDF, EPS, BMP, TIFF, PNG. In fact, I like PNG. DXF is a great way of exchanging files, and AutoCAD is a great way of exchanging files. So if you want to bring it into another 3D application and things, you would use one of these bottom ones. I'm actually going to use PNG instead of JPEG. It's a little better format, not as compressed as much. And if I export it out, it takes this image that you see here, makes it into a still image. I can go into Photoshop, and that's where I was making my Easter bunny here. It's the Easter bunny. I guess we could open up a tank and have the tank blow up the bunny if we wanted to here. I think I called it tank, right? Tank. ST. It's T after S. There it is. So once you have it in Photoshop, you can do whatever you want. You can make an icon with it. You can shrink it down. You can get rid of the background if you want. You can add it to your animated ad. So if I wanted to, I could use the lasso tool. Go around. I'm going to do this very fast, very fast, very fast. And then copy that. We can add it to our bunny animation here. There we go. Shrink it down. Remember our edit, transform, scale. That'll transform. Again, hitting the little link up here and then shrinking it down. There we go. So we got our tank in Photoshop. So it's an easy way. It's a great way that you can make animations and things like that. In fact, I'm going to flip this around so it looks like it's the bunny's going towards it under edit, transform. You can also rotate 180. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. I want to go under edit, transform, flip horizontal. There we go. So the tank is facing this way. So as the bunny goes up, we'll have the tank go by. So the tank's going this way. We'll click on the last frame, move tank to the other side, and then select all the frames. And use a cheating technique is to tell the computer to calculate all the in-between ones. That is located under the animation palette here in Photoshop under the pop-up menu here. There's one that says tween right here. So if you put the tank in the last frame, number 12 on this side and number 1 on this side. So I put the tank number 1 on this side and put it on number 12 on that side. If I select all of the frames like this and then go tween under the pop-up menu in the upper right corner of the animation window and say tween, and then hit selected layer, hit OK, it'll then, we can have the tank going and driving over the chocolate and the bunny. So the Google SketchUp, as you can see with this quick example, I'm gonna pause this movie and then show you how to do an animation in this program, is a great way. There's a lot of pre-made models already under 3D Warehouse, Get Model, and things like that. So download and try this application. It's a lot of fun, and think of the possibilities you can use in multimedia with this.